Hello, Wargamers. It is I, Big Fat, over here at Nola Wargaming, and I have another battle report for you. So, after that beating that I put down on poor Sticky Fingers, he talked trash for the next 2 or 3 days about the next game that we were going to play, and he also decided that we were going to put a little wager on this, that the loser of the next game was going to have to consume one of the girliest drinks that we could think of, the buttery nipples. And that's actually what the picture is right here. 6 shots of buttery nipples. So, with those stakes on the line, this game was intense. All right, let's get to it. All right. Yep, once again, we found our place in the cafe. We had to go find a different table, unfortunately, so the lighting is even worse. And there were also more than a few drinks consumed during and before this game, as you can tell by the edges of the tables. So yeah, that's what's going on with some of these pictures. Anyway, so here's good old Sticky Fingers' his left flank, kind of just surrendered it over here. He's got that pesky sorcerer over there, and that same barbarian horseman unit with the sorcerer and the chief on it. That thing can just move around. I mean, it's the mobile side of this table. He could just move this whole flank anywhere he wants. And this is where, really, his whole army is. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of good toughness and very good armor saves. He's got that Marauder Giant in the middle. That's a pretty good place to put it. And I guess those Chosen Chariots are going to support the unit of warriors in the middle. But, yeah. All right, my side of things. I just kind of put some Fraggles down on the side. You know, they'll get to what they can at the end, and maybe hit a flank or something. You know, the Yetis are part of my real Vanguard here, not just because they have Vanguard rules, but you know, because I want them out front. If somebody charges them, I'm probably going to strike first, do a little bit of damage at least, and that gives Sticky Fingers a little bit of pause to just throw stuff at them. And I'm okay with it. They're actually a pretty cheap unit. I really like how these things work out. You can see the tribes of the BSB. I put Big Fat square in the middle of this table because he is going to get in. I am going to use him. He is going to fight. He's going to squish things. So I was very determined to just not misuse some of my units. And here you can see the other half of the table. I'm really just surrendering those 2 Kin Eaters on the left. They're just going to die to that unit of Knights, but one at a time to slow up that unit. Maybe kill 1 Knight or something. You can see Arf over there. He's going to probably do the same thing, maybe get in front of a chariot or something like that. That little pink thing, I think that's like a hot chocolate packet or something. That is a building. Also, if you see in the middle of the table, you see that plate. That is, if you watch the last battle report, you know that Sticky Fingers has an item that makes 1 forest ruins, and that was a forest. It is now ruins. So, yeah, I have to be cautious going through there. I actually was planning on just plowing straight through the thing and just, you know, damn the consequences. I thought that might catch him by surprise, but you'll see how that goes later. You can see the Mercenaries right behind the Yetis. I'm planning on sacrificing the Yetis early, so the Mercenaries will be able to just go in and hit stuff right in the face. I want them straight in with that block of warriors. I think they can do a ton of damage. If I can hit them in with something else, I think I can take that block down just hitting in the front. But yeah, this is kind of a usual setup, and you can see the other Kin Eater in the front of Demora's unit, and he's just gonna, you know, die just like the other 2. If you didn't watch my other video, just letting you know that Demora does have the D3 wound great weapon, or it's got the great weapon marked with the D3 wound enchanted weapon, Kagadai Small. Sorry, I was drawing a blank for a second. I love that magic item, or enchanted item so much. Anyway, so moving on. So Sticky Fingers changed up spells just a little bit, not too much. Hasten the Hour, always fun. You know, it'd do a little bit of damage. Ancestral Aid, I hate that one. That's the -1 resistance. And that's in that flying wizard who's just going to fly around and piss me off all the time. Wizard on foot, less concerned. Spectral Blades, Whispers of the Veil, whatever. Some rerolls there. So And yes, God, I hate this stupid spell. I had to save dice for this thing every time. And he's got it on both units and knights. Fortunately, if I can keep those knights busy, he won't be able to take full advantage of this spell. Because if you don't know what the spell is, the 2d6 strength 6 hits with, armor save, AP nothing. So, it's great on small units of badly armored troops, which are all of my troops. So this is quite a dangerous spell. Keeping those 2 units of knights occupied is very high on my list of things to do. That's my little towel gorilla. When I was on the cruise, they kept making these little towel animals, so we had this little towel gorilla that just moved around my room the whole time. He's so cute. Anyway, here we go. This is Sticky Fingers' movement phase, obviously. He didn't do a whole lot of moving here. He just kicked out that wizard and just repositioned the horseman a little bit on this flank. And over here, he's just creeping forward. He could have charged probably the chariot, maybe a chariot, or even the warriors at that unit of Yetis. I wasn't too far away, but he's pretty conservative about stuff like that. He might have been able to even get the knights in or something like that. I expected him to drive them off, but he chose not to. Even if he did charge him, depending on what it was, I might have stayed. There's a little bit of a gap between the next unit and that, so I'll make people take the risk of possibly not being able to make the overrun, so I can smash into them after that. All right, so we drew the cards and flex guard too. And this is what it starts off. It was hasten the hour and just ding me for a wound, nothing big. And then that stupid spell that I hate so much. -1 resistance. Cannot stand that thing. It goes off frequently, as you can tell. It's not because I'm not trying to stop it. I definitely am. I'm just sucking at it. I'm not saving dice. I definitely wasn't saving dice in this case. I was trying to stop this thing, but I didn't. All right, on my side of the board. So the Fraggles could declare a charge. I think this was like a 15 or 16 inch charge or something crazy. I knew he wasn't going to flee, and if I get it, if I do actually get this charge, that's fantastic for me. If I don't get it, I don't care. They're only going to move a few inches anyway, so there's really no downside in something like this. I don't make it, no big deal. If I hadn't, like I said, the rewards were so much higher than the risks, no big deal. Over here, he moved up those chariots, and I was like, if you're going to feed them to me, I'm going to take them. So I just declared a charge on the first chariot, and even though, I've got 3 Yetis that are going to be locked in that one chariot. That's 3, 6, 9, 9 attacks at strength 5, 4.5. My bad. Since I get +1 to hit because it's got the mark of wrath on it, I should hit 6 times. Resistance 6, I think, or something along those lines. I should do a significant amount of damage to it. The problem is that these chariots, they hit really hard. The mark of wrath on these things is really good, and he's going to strike before me. So he might kill off a Yeti. If he's really lucky, he's going to kill off 2 Yetis. I think those things had like initiative, agility 6 or something like that. They're pretty crazy. Anyway, so I plowed in. I'm not in combat with both of them. I'm only in combat with one of them. All right, here's what the rest of the table looks like. I moved up the Kin Eaters as far as I could throw them. I moved up both ARFs just to get in the way. Pretty basic. You can see that I am committing to Big Fat and the Mercenaries being the real shock force here. The Mercenaries, if you watched the last video, you saw that I misused them tragically, horrendously, terribly, oh my god, badly. This game is not going to be that way. They're going to get stuck in. I am going to murder some stuff with these guys. So Big Fat is the same way. And also, as long as they're right here, anything that gets near them, they're going to strike last because of Big Fat's cold ability, the -3 agility to everything nearby. So I'm totally cool with how this looks right now. Here's the other side. Nothing big. I swept the Yetis around. I'm going to force him to either... I'm forcing him to do something with the horsemen. I'm okay if he charges the tribes down there because, well, I mean, for one, he doesn't get any ranks because they're, light troops and stuff. But he's also in that ruins. I don't think he's going to take any damage because, the magic item that says nope. But I have ranks. He has no ranks, which means I can hang around for a long time. And these guys are not heavily armored. Even though they can inflict some damage to my tribes, I can inflict a bunch of damage back to them too. So I feel pretty confident that they can't take on a full ranked unit like this. Over here, the Yetis just go ahead and murder that chariot right out. He does do some damage to me. He knocks off one of the Yetis. I don't see any extra wounds on him, so he must have just knocked out the one. I overrun ever so slightly, so now I'm into the second chariot. This is a good move on my part. I was really aggressive. I don't think Sticky Fingers expected it for some reason. I mean, I know he didn't expect the Yetis to do quite as much damage. He thought I was going to just kind of stay there. But managing to kill that chariot right off the bat was great. And getting into the second one, I mean, nobody wants to be charged by a chariot. So I do get less attacks here because there's only 2 of them base to base. But, them's the breaks. There's the chicken coop out in Key West. So, yeah, there were chickens all over Key West. They had little things like this all over the place. So if you want some tacky yard art, chickens or cocks, as I've taken to call this thing, the cock shop. Yeah, it's all over the place at Key West. All right, here we go. He's going to charge that unit of knights. This time, if you watched last game, he was a little conservative, trying to get rid of some of the chaff. This game, he is going to clear it out fast. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. So he is charging that Can Eater, and he is going to mow that thing down. If not this turn, then probably the next one. Yep, there he is, just right in. Over here, he's going to murder a dog. Yep, yeah, he got that charge. Who would have thunk it? And here, he's taking those horsemen right into the tribes. Like I said, I was really good with this matchup. I mean, the one factor is he does have his magic, and that could throw a wrench in my plans. He does have some good, I guess, defensive and offensive magic, buffs and hexes. I really thought that I didn't think he was going to take this matchup, like I said before, because of the ranks. And when we talked after the last game, he was worried about engaging units with ranks head on with this unit. So I thought he might scuttle off to the side and, set up a flank charge or something like that. You do see that gaping hole on the other side of the red stripe. So he could have just hopped through, but I know he was afraid of the Yetis and everything. So I think he was just trying to make a statement early. They do make that charge, obviously. It wasn't that far, so. And here's the big one. That Marauding Giant was running into Big Fat. And, I probably should have been a little more worried about this than I was. But, I mean, Big Fat's fat. But whatever damage I do to the Giant is going to make the Giant stronger, which is a problem because I strike first. So I'm going to do a couple of wounds to that Giant. As a result of me doing a couple of wounds, that Giant's going to pick up a couple of extra attacks. So right now I'm looking at 5 strength 6 attacks, 2.5 hits, 1.5 wounds, 1 to 2 wounds, somewhere around there. But by the time we get into combat, by the time he actually strikes, it's not going to be 5 attacks. It might be 7 or 8 attacks, 9 or 10, depending on how successful I am. And yeah, I mean, Big Fat's more durable, but, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, he failed that charge, though. So I lucked out. I lucked out for now. So this is what the table looks like after a little movement. You can see that the knights are preparing for those Yetis. They don't want him to go anywhere. He probably could have taken out the dog here and then swiveled around, done pretty much the same thing. But he's probably worried about Big Fat getting into the flank of that unit of knights. Like I said, me being more aggressive with Big Fat meant that he had to react to Big Fat a lot more. And over here, yeah, there's that stupid wizard just flying around doing its stuff. And you know, there's going to be some magic going on over there in that unit of tribes over there. Yep, there's the flex cards. Here we go. There goes a Yeti. Hasten the hour, I remember correctly. So he's trying to panic him off the table. But they stick around. I was really lucky with my panic checks in both this game and last one. I didn't fail very much. So, you know, kudos to that. Good. I had appeased the Dice Lord somewhere. He does manage to get this. Rerolls of some sort. Rerolls the hit or rerolls the wound or something along those lines. I can't remember which one. Over here, yep. He does not kill that Kinnear off in a single turn. He was hoping to, but 3 out of 4 wounds. We know that Ken Eater is not long for this world. He's going to be gone, as soon as the next round starts. But it's a good start for him. Yep, there goes another Yeti. So that was the thing. It doesn't look like I did any damage back to him. But I stuck around, so we've got another combat. Next one's not going to go as well. Well, it looks like I did do some damage. It's probably 2 on that pip, so I probably did a couple of wounds to the chariot. But as you can see, the dog did not hold up to the warriors. I mean, who would have thunk it? They overrun just short of everything, but that is not a happy place to be in. Those poor dumb bastards. And yeah, over here, he did some damage to me. We got into a challenge between his some sort of hero level character, chieftain. That's right. The chieftain versus my BSB. My BSB doesn't have much in the way of armor, so he's just relying on his toughness. And the chieftain is just better at this. He did 3 wounds to me. I knocked off a wound on him. He's striking first, so I expect my BSB to die next turn. But the rest of my unit did what I thought was going to happen. They knocked out a whole bunch of horsemen, and I can take the I can take the damage. He cannot. So I mean, I'm just as strong as I was last round, and he's missing 4 guys. So yeah, it's going to hurt for me, but it's going to hurt worse for him. So yeah, my turn. It's time to react. And that King Eater is going into flank of that unit of knights. We both know what's going to happen. He's going to hold them up. That is all I care about. I'm going to do probably no damage. He's going to kill the front King Eater. He's going to turn, kill the next King Eater the following turn. But that's fine with me. That's what these guys are meant for. I get in there. Yeah, so now I have to maneuver around the ruins, which are gaining in height. There's a bartender that was very used to me, and I would just come up to the bartender, and he would just hand me 2 red stripes. That's my preferred beer. So it was probably one of the better beers on the cruise, unless you like Miller Lite or Coors Light or something like that. So yeah, those Yetis are gonna just seal the deal on that unit of horsemen. And there we go. I don't think I took any wounds going through the ruins. I was pretty lucky in that regard. So yeah, this is the big one. I'm all in on this thing. The mercenaries are going in. Big Fat's going in. I'm even sending the Fraggles in to knock out all their ranks. So not only am I going to smash this unit, but he's not going to be steadfast from this, because we know the Fraggles are going to be steadfast. They're going to have the most ranks. So this is bad news for that warrior block. It's game over, man. Everybody gets in. It wasn't too hard for anybody to get in. The Fraggles, I think, had a little bit subpar charge. I think they needed, like a 7 or 8 or something like that, but nothing too, crazy. So here's the movement on the right side. You can see I moved the King Eater on the left a little bit. Dog's doing what dog does over there. I'm just trying to hold stuff up. After I kill this unit of warriors, I'm hoping that Big Fat slams into the giant. I'd rather charge than be charged, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm just blocking up all his units. And over here, there's really only the Fraggles over here. So Fraggles turned around to say hi to that sorcerer. I'm not going to be able to catch him, but, he's just going to move off to the side. I'm just making him move. So, yeah, combat went pretty much as expected. That Kin Eater on the right took way more damage than I expected him to. It actually became kind of a running joke about my Fortitude saves on the Kin Eaters, where I only made them in the quantities that would guarantee they die. So, if I had a Kin Eater that had no wounds on it and he took 5 wounds, I would save one of them, which would guarantee that he would die anyway. So, I kept making saves like that. So, yeah, the one in the front died. I'm surprised I did that much damage to him, but, he's holding strong. Over here, it's just a war of attrition. I lost another Yeti. I might not have done any damage this time. I just didn't have enough attacks to take down this chariot. And that happens. So I break, I flee, I run through the building. He stops at the building, just because he didn't go very far. So yeah, I'm gonna try to rally this Yeti, but it's only one left, so it's not likely. Yeah, that's after combat. That was a bloody, gruesome combat. Big Fat took a couple wounds for his, for being fat. The mercenaries plowed into this unit. The Fraggles, did their thing from the side. I mean, I don't think they did any actual damage, but it's all about the rank bonus and everything. And yeah, this is great. He obviously does not stick around and he gets run down. Everybody just plows forward. I mean, I was not going to let that unit get away. I did not get into the Marauding Giant, so this is going to be... So that scenario I was talking about before is going to come to fruition in a second, because that Giant is definitely going to plow into Big Fat next round. Over here in the center, yeah, we just beat the hell out of that Marauder Horseman unit. Fled from the Yetis, and we're just pursuing him. If he rallies, we're just going to take him out next turn. He did kill off my BSB very quickly. I think he did like another 3 wounds to him or something like that. He just butchered that poor guy. Yep, this is still in Key West. We're on that little conch train that's taking us around the island. I can't remember what this place was, but I took a picture of it because that tree is badass looking. They had trees like this all over the island. I swear they're crazy. I thought they looked like they were like aluminum plants or something like that with leaves glued on them. But man, these things are awesome. All right, so yeah, he's going to murder that dog over there, and that Marauding Giant is going to plow into Big Fat. Come on, Big Fat. Show him who's the fattest. Over here, he doesn't rally, just runs off the table. Oh, the sorcerer right there. He is not charging into the unit. You probably can't tell right here, but our tables were like a good inch different in height. So we couldn't put stuff on the actual crack. Otherwise, the models would just fall over. So we just put the sorcerer a little closer than he should be. But, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, this is what the right side of the table looks like. You can see the chariot just turned so that he can run into the center of the table at some point. Maybe hit the mercenaries. I worry about that matchup, the mercenaries with the chariot charging. But it's my turn next, so I've got some plans for that one. Yep, over here, this is just the left side of the table. There's really nothing here. Just showing that the wizard, flew off to the side. So yeah, here's Magic Phase. I need to start actually taking mages with me someday. Yep, actually this is close combat. Previously he'd been doing some damage just by casting that spell while in combat. He didn't this time. I don't think he gets any magic off for a few turns. He just was really unlucky with the dice. Either he was rolling really low, or he was not casting the spell altogether. And not just without, just rolling 2s instead of 1, so he wasn't even getting the dice back. Yep, over here, just reforming. Dog dead, reform to face the center. Oh, and there's the Titan fight. I did 2 wounds. He did another 2 wounds to me, because remember, Big Fat already had 2 on him. That's straight up 2-2, but he charged for a +1. And Big Fat dies. Yeah. I took off running, and the giant just ran him down. Poor Fat. That was so sad. That was the saddest part of this game. I hate it when Big Fat dies. He's my favorite. All right, so over here, yeah, that panicked the Fraggles, and I was like, ugh, Demi Fraggles. I needed you to do something important. Well, I mean, not important, just get out of the way. So actually, I was totally cool with this. They're out of the way, so that chariot is not long for this world. There goes the King Eater. He just took 2 more wounds and died. Actually, yeah, I think that knight on the end, that one knight, just kept beating the crap out of him, and he just dies. All right, so my turn. I am going to take down that damn marauding giant. It might have killed Big Fat, but it is not going to survive this right here. That giant is dead. If it even gets to Demora is just going to shish kebab him. Over here, I don't know why I'm doing this. I very well could have just parked the King Eater in front of this knight unit and saved him an extra round of combat. What's going to happen here is he's going to run in, not do any damage, probably take a couple of wounds for his troubles, and the next turn he's just going to die. Whereas if I had just parked him in front, the timer would have started next combat phase instead of this combat phase, because as you can tell, it takes about 2 combat phases to take out this King Eater. So I could have held him up for an extra turn, but I did not. I was just being a little anxious. Over here, yep, there's the marauding giant. I just got into that combat, and as you can see, the King Eater obviously made that charge into the knights. And over here, man, I chose to charge the knights instead of the chariot. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Gonna murder me some knights. And I make that charge. That looked like a longer charge. I should have made the charge against chariot. Oh well, whatever. Alright, so this is what the right side of the table looks like. You can see that Yeti is still fleeing. He actually doesn't rally. He's going to run off the table at some point. But, yeah. Over here, you can see Fraggles moving up, and that unit of tribes is moving to the center of the table. I mean, there's not a lot it's going to be able to do at this point. They're just strength 4. They've got a few attacks to them, but, you know, against all this armor that's left on the table, all they're really going to do is control the where the wizard can go. And that's their only purpose. Yep, I destroyed that giant. I don't even think that Demora got to swing. I think the rest of the unit took him down. I mean, I just the impact hits and all swings. I tore that guy down. Yeah. That overran a little bit. Meh. Oh man, that was a risky one too. You can see that the King Eater took 3 wounds for his trouble. He's got 1 wound left, so that was not great. Over here, yeah, the mercenaries, they tore that unit of knights up. I mean, these guys are beasts. They got devastating charge. They've got the plates. They've got halberds, so they're strength 7 on the charge. Badass, I'll tell you that's a can opener unit right there. They tear some shit up. Over here, just turning around. You know, wherever that chariot goes, it's gonna die. I mean, it's got 2 options here. It can try to reposition, maybe around the building. It can charge into Demora's unit. I mean, if it charges into Demora's unit, Demora's going to kill it after it does a little bit of impact hit damage. I mean, it's either die by the mercenaries or die by Demora. And yes, so we decided we were going to settle our bet a week later. So this is actually a week later. We all went out to Tacos and Beer, one of my favorite places here in New Orleans. It's a little kind of collegey place. Can you imagine it has tacos and beer? Yes. So yeah, here we go. He's going to take that chariot. He's going to charge into Demora's unit. I mean, he's got impact hits and stuff. I mean, worst case scenario, he kills off, what, like 2 tribesmen, and then Demora strikes, and she's just going to reduce it to kindling. Yep, he gets in right there. Yeah, this is just the right side of the table. I mean, you can see he's moved that the Skywheel dude all the way up there so he can cast some magic into combats that matter. He's also trying to get away from the Fraggles and the tribes down there too. Right side of the table. Oh, I actually have a Yeti hanging out somewhere up here. It's what's left of that unit that used to be up here. Yeah, I kind of forgot about it because of all the dead pile. But yeah, he helped kill that Marauder unit. Over here, I actually don't think he gets anything off. Let's see. Nope, he actually does. Well, I've got it. I say he does. I don't think that's true. I think I just mislabeled this card. Alright, so that's probably close combat. And either it's close combat or he does that spell in the magic phase. Doesn't really make a difference. Either way, the Kin Eater dies and he reforms. Oh, yeah, that was magic because he's going to do more magic over here. That was the, this is Hasten, and that one was the Hellfire spell. I'm not sure why he kept casting it in combat. I guess to guarantee that the Kin Eater died, but Kin Eater was going to die either way. Alright, over here. Yeah, he actually does a lot more damage than I expect him to. Doesn't change the fact that that Demora just reduces that thing to nothing. She just smashed it to pieces. Yeah, and so it's on my turn. I'm finally going to chase down this stupid mage. It's time for him to die. Yep, definitely time for him to die. Over here, I'm going to send Demora in. This is a little risky because she can always whiff her attacks. I mean, she's only got the 5 attacks. Obviously, that tribesman is worthless and just free combat res for the for this unit of knights. But yeah. Both of them get into combat. He sticks around with that Skywheel guy this time. He's just not going to flee. Over here, I actually did rally this Yeti. I thought he ran off the table. Thinking about the last game, I guess. So this is what the right side of the table looks like. Mercenaries are just moving up, getting ready to, do their sweet thing if they have to. On the left side of the table, you can see the Fraggles just being Fraggles. Over here, yep, that happens. The Yeti just plows straight through the Skywheel dude. If you watched last game, he actually held up a unit for a while. This game was not that did not happen, and he just plowed into the back of that unit of knights. And now I was a little worried about this combat before. I'm not worried about this combat now. Yep, I murder all the knights. we didn't get to. There's no fleeing. There's nothing. I straight up killed them all between the Yeti and Demora. I think the Yeti actually did either one or two. I actually got one on an impact hit, and Demora just wiped out the rest. So that's the end, or is it? Oh no, that's totally it. So if you were watching, you could tell I won this game. This one was pretty bad. As soon as that I combo charged that unit of warriors, it was pretty terrible. So Sticky Fingers had to drink the buttery nipples. Except he didn't go out with us this night. There was a group of us went out. Mrs. Sticky Fingers actually went out with us instead. So Sticky Fingers had to stay home and watch all the kids while we partied with Mrs. Sticky Fingers. She drank some of the buttery nipples. We had a good time, tacos and beer. As you can see, these tacos are fantastic. So yeah, that's how it went. And that is the end of the Cruise Saga, where I went 2-0 against Sticky Fingers. I'm sure he is going to get his revenge next time. He was limited in what necessarily he wanted to bring by what he was willing to pack, because he did have a lot of luggage. Having 3 kids and stuff, you tend to bring a lot of stuff, so he was trying to minimize the amount of luggage he was bringing. Next time we play, I'm sure it will be a very different list, very different game. I will have a very different list because, as you can tell, I change my lists up dramatically every game I play. So yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a good evening. I will see you guys later.